Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my beautiful rideshare revolutionaries. It's me, Gio. Y'all know who the fuck it is. Alrighty. I guess I'll just tackle a couple small subjects before I dive into the main issue of this video. First thing is the live stream I did Saturday night. Seemed like a lot of you enjoyed that for some odd reason. Not sure why. Obviously I wasn't streaming the passengers, I was forward facing, and I wasn't responding to comments while I had passengers in the car. Kind of the reason I took a little, I guess the reason you could say I attempted that was I wanted you guys to see, like, what drivers actually have to go through in a major market. Those of you in Chicago, you know it, you do it all the time. Those of you in smaller markets, you don't really get to experience it. You don't get to feel it, right? So that little 2-something hour stream was just like a little taste of what Chicago drivers have to go through. I mean, you guys heard it. I had some funny conversations. I got hit on by 2 different passengers. I got requests from the music. Everything you could imagine a driver would run into, I run into. And not a bunch of bad stuff either. It's mostly positive experiences as a full-time driver in Chicago. And I want to do more of those because it seems like you guys really enjoyed them. But I don't want to get in trouble with the apps. Like, you're not supposed to stream passengers. Now that I think I technically was not streaming the passengers. You could hear them, but I wasn't filming them. And I'm pretty sure you couldn't pull up their locations or addresses unless you're really trying. But none of the information was being displayed on the screen. I'd like to continue to do it. I don't want to get in trouble for it. But I do think that could offer some unique content because, I know you're a personal driver, did stuff like that, but like, no offense to Aaron, he didn't really do the late nights as much, and he didn't like have as much fun with his passengers as I do. So I think you guys could enjoy like the interactions I have with my passengers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm on the fence. I want to keep doing it. I don't want to get in trouble for it. So what do you guys think? You guys could be the angels and devils on my shoulder. The second thing I want to talk about is, it actually came up in the live stream, was the, sorry guys, I need to keep my hands busy all the time. I'm very fidgety. Someone asked me why I don't do super chats. I never activated super chats because the goal of the channel was not to yank money from drivers. But that being said, I have been wanting to start a Patreon for a while. I got 10,000 subs, and I was gonna make this video in a week when I did my 2 million views video, but as a content creator, right, you're supposed to be like, if you have a Patreon, if you have a GoFundMe, if you have even your monetization, the whole point of like monetizing your channel, getting ad revenue, is so that you can put more time into content creation. Full disclosure, I don't. I take my ad revenue and I put it in a savings account, and that's my tax money. But like, if you're a content creator on YouTube and you have a Patreon over it, like, that's the reason you're supposed to do that. The reason you're supposed to have a Patreon, GoFundMe, or ad revenue is so that you can put more time into your channel, and you can spend less time doing other things and spend more time contributing to your channel. That's why you're getting paid for it, stuff like that. I don't do that because I barely gotten into editing my videos in the past like 7 months. That being said, I want to focus more on content creation, but like, I also make all my money driving. But so it's, and I do enjoy like taking little bits of video and editing. It's pretty fun. It is. but it doesn't pay the bills. But that being said, I'm not really making anything off of my videos other than the ad revenue, which is like $400 to $600 a month for me. Now, that being said, if I did do a Patreon, I want you guys to know, while it would benefit me, it wouldn't exactly line my pockets. You know, I've been giving out free info, absolutely free. I've answered most emails, thousands of questions, hundreds of thousands of comments. I've done it all for free for 2.5 years. I don't think I wouldn't feel guilty asking you guys to help me out by contributing to a Patreon, but also keep in mind, if I do this, if I go forward with Patreon, 100% of the funds that are on the Patreon are going to go to charity, right? I would love to be able to show you guys that I donate $20,000 per year, and if 5 or 10,000 of it is from you guys, awesome. But I'd like to be able to, as much bitching and moaning as there is on YouTube for various different topics, not even rideshare, I lead a very fortunate life. I'm in good health. Got some good friends, good family. I make money the way I like to make money. I enjoy what I'm doing to make money. I'm leading a pretty good life, right? Like, I'm working like a fucking animal, but more or less, I'm pretty happy. And why not have a positive impact while I'm at it, right? So that's why it's already going on too long. But let me know what you guys think. I've been on the fence on this one for a long time. I want to do it, but if it's for $50 a month, I'm not going to bother. You guys, you can keep your dollar. If you're going to miss your dollar that much, don't worry about it. But anyway, on to the actual topic at hand. I'll try to make this one quick. So this morning, I did 2 Uber airport rides before my second airport run was at 5:07, I think. And then I got back in the city. I got some snacks, and then after I got my snacks, I left my app. I cannot talk today. My Lyft app on in the car. When I got back to my car, I noticed a personal power zone of $18 in the pink zone, a block and a half from where I was. So I'm like, obviously, and this is premium advantage. By the way, got to mention premium advantage in Chicago. Some of you forget that that I only give advice for one market. I turned Lux Black on and I went to the pink zone, which was a block and a half away, and I started loading it up. And it loaded. And I knew it's very unlikely I'll take a Lux Black ride, which, by the way, if I got a Lux Black ride, I would have taken it, because a Lux Black ride with the power zone would have been close to $100 if it was an airport ride. Why the hell not? So I loaded the power zone. It got up to like $24 after 12 minutes or something, 12, 13, 14 minutes. I got a little antsy because I checked the Uber app, and the Uber app was surging. So I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I can knock out a Lyft ride on a filter and then start filtering on Uber. Didn't quite work that way, but I did filter on Lyft. It was a 4.5 mile ride or something. With a tip, it was like $34. So that was a very good ride with this weird power zone. That was the best power zone I have ever seen myself. That's the best power zone I've seen on my app. I've seen other screenshots of power zones that were $40, $50, $60. I have personally never seen one myself on my app that high. But I saw the one for 18 something, and that's the highest one I've seen. I loaded it up. I didn't want to load it up all the way because I didn't really see a point because of the Uber surge. But then that's what I've had this theory for a couple weeks, and there's some obvious holes in this theory, but this is where I need you guys' help. The current theory I have, God, this guy, unbelievable. The current theory I have about the Lyft power zones is that the power zones do not reflect demand. They reflect historical data from the last 3-4 years. Okay? Because don't forget, the priority of Uber and Lyft is reducing wait times and keeping the price as low as possible for the passengers. Because passengers, most of the time, they don't want to pay in demand pricing. right? They will, but they don't want to. That might push them away from the app. They could choose to take a cab, which they still do if surge is too high. So my theory is that Lyft has collected data from every block of time on the same date the last 3-4 years. And on top of that, I know this might sound confusing. I'm not going to explain it well because I'm not an academic person. On top of that theory, I believe that the power zones are a reflection of historical data and demand, and how close cars were in that area in the last 3 or 4 years. Bless myself. So this morning, if I saw an $18 power zone by Belmont and I think Damon, it was Belmont and Damon, then that tells me that there was probably a 200% prime time last year, 2 years ago. 250 maybe, 300, you never know. But historically, there was heavy demand at that area during that time. And I think historically, it took cars a certain amount of time to get to that area. Follow me? I know I'm not explaining this well. So that's what I think the personal power zones are, is a reflection of historical demand and trying to make sure there are drivers lined up in those areas to minimize demand, right? Or to minimize wait times at least. Now the obvious hole in that theory, guess I'm adding this one. I got a notification on my phone that I ran out of room or something. So anyway, moving on. Another thing I want to add to this, the big hole in this theory, which is a big one, it's a massive one, is how power zones randomly pop up in the suburbs that are kind of high for no damn reason. Like I've seen over this weekend, there was a power zone in Westchester, kind of like by Elmhurst, for like $12 I saw. There wouldn't be prime time 2, 3, 4 years ago in that area on a Saturday night. Just wouldn't happen. Shy Guy, he sent a screenshot one time of like a Monday or Tuesday morning, and there was a $21 power zone in Naperville at like 9:45 or 10 in the morning. There would not be that much prime time in Naperville, in the suburbs, at that time, 2, 3, 4 years ago. That's the obvious hole in my theory, but judging from what I've seen around the market in my group chat, this theory kind of makes sense to me, but I haven't quite figured it out. But the only thing I know for sure is these power zones do not reflect demand. They don't reflect demand like the Uber flat surge does. So if you guys are in different markets and you've been seeing these nonsensical power zones, sometimes they're really high when they don't make sense. Sometimes they're really low compared to Uber surge. What do you guys think? I'm open to suggestions. I wish I could figure this out myself. I can't. But that's my theory. Let me know what you guys think. And I want to thank y'all for watching. Everyone, please stay safe, stay driven, stay classy. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.